Welcome to the Generation X-Wing podcast, a modern look at our retro lifestyle. My name is Rob Williams, and I'm here with,
believe it or not, Neil Sharma.
as well as,
Jamie Pale Rider. I'm not
as
saying
well as,
Third Fiddle, Steve 3.
all
Hey.
right. The gang is back. All four of us are in the same room. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. What did you just flash gang signs, sir?
West Side.
West Side, of course. We're here to talk Ahsoka, the last 3 episodes, and man, it's been a trip. I've been enjoying this series. I don't know how about you guys. Neil, you weren't there in our last episode when we talked about Ahsoka, so we'll go hit you in a second here. But
I listened.
yes, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Mm.
Episode 6, 7, 8 is going to be our major focus, but we are going to talk about the series as a whole and how did it hold up compared to some of the other Disney's Plus series, and what do we expect in the future here? So let's start off with the last. Let's start off, actually, Neil, Ahsoka as a whole. How did you feel about it? How has it held up for you? Did you enjoy it? Give us your thoughts on it.
You guys know me. I unapologetically love everything.
Bantha
And
milking.
yeah, exactly. If I don't like it, you won't hear me talk about it. That's all. I loved it. I mean, I knew Dave wouldn't let us down, knowing that it's his baby, like really his baby. Like, you know, Clone Wars and Rebels. That's Filoni verse. And this was his chance to really do it the way he wanted to, and I think he did. He gave us Rebels season 5, like it, little bit of a catch up for some people in that first episode to bring us right to the moment where Rebels ended, which I thought was great. The painting and all that that Sabine goes up to, and then from then on, it was just like, all right, I'm in, and I stay in the moment, and I guess, I don't read much. There was a couple of podcasts I was listening to that broke it down. I was kind of like, I don't need to. I'd rather just listen to what you guys had to say about it, because, opinions I actually care about. And no, I really enjoyed it. There was, you get caught into a little bit of nitpicking early on, but like, a lot of people didn't like Hera, for example, at the beginning, and thought Hera got stronger as the show went on. I thought she even looked better. Like, they fixed some things, and I don't know if they fixed anything, to be honest, or I just started to believe the character more as this is Hera. So here we go. There's always that gulf you have to, traverse when you're going from something you've known for years as animation to live action. When you cross mediums like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a certain, like, okay, come on, like, accept this for what it is versus what you expect it to be based on, preconceptions of what you felt before, right? So, I really, I love, I mean, like everybody, man, Ray Stevenson as Balin is so amazing, and we'll get to how tragic, I'm sure, especially at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know that Jamie referred to Shin Hati as just the blunt instrument you go and aim, but I don't know. I thought she was just, she was kind of the yang to Sabine's yin for Ahsoka. Like, she was that I thought she was great. I'm a big fan, and I just want to know more. I want to see more stories with her. And I like the actor. It's funny, while I was watching Ahsoka, I've been watching, I don't know if you guys have seen High Fidelity, the TV show with Zoe Kravitz.
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Anyone?
No.
Anyone?
No.
Highly recommended. Not going to get into that, but
I thought you
she
were
is
talking
in
about
it.
the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's based on the movie, but again, another day. It's good. Go check it out. But she's in it. The actress who plays Shin Hati, she's in that. So, and yeah, I really like both of them, and crab people. It kind of had all the little things that you want in Star Wars, and
People.
yeah, holy crap, the soundtrack, especially in that last episode. My God. Kiner, right? Ralph, Ray,
Kevin Kiner.
Kevin. Okay, there
You
you go.
say his name correct, sir.
See, oh, that's why
I've
I
been
knew you'd
screaming about
correct
his
me.
name ever since
Ralph,
I started
Ray.
watching the show.
There's too many guys who have that same kind of this Ray Fiennes, Kevin Kiner, Kevin Klein. It's too many. It's like my brain can't handle. So anyway, if you say so. But
He
he's
is the animated Star Wars John Williams.
he very much
show some
is.
respect.
Yeah, I will. I'll go hang my head in shame. Anyway, soundtrack, I mean, Star Trek is 1/3 soundtrack. I think, Star Trek, Star Wars. See, I'm dumb. I'm dumb now.
Hey, did you say Star Trek?
It's
I
going
did.
well.
Yeah,
did.
we're doing good.
You're too relaxed on the bed there,
I'm
sir.
just like I'm
Do we,
lounging.
everyone, Anil just woke up and
I recently changed a diaper. This is true. But yeah, I was gonna say Star Wars is 1/3 soundtrack. You try to say that 4 times, come on, and I get caught up. But yeah, and it was such a brilliant accompaniment, and just so good. And for I don't know how casual fans one of the questions I want to ask you guys is
Mhm.
how many people did you have calling you up or texting you or whatever, asking you a billion little questions about what's this all about? Who's that? And what's that guy? And all this. Because when you're the resident Star Wars nerd, I had to field a lot of questions from friends and family over the course of Ahsoka. But
Steve, you're shaking
for
your
us,
head on that one.
yeah, I didn't have any of that going on, to be honest with you. Most of the people in conversation with about it were pretty versed in it, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone. I'd already had the conversation because I consider myself a newbie to the Clone Wars and Rebels because, as you guys know, I was not. I was one of those guys who wasn't really interested in watching anything than what I knew, and then I started watching Clone Wars and Rebels, and I love them. So I've always been telling people since I started loving it, you got to go out and watch these things, and having that same conversation of, I don't know, like what I like, just watch it, So yeah, I didn't really have a lot of people asking too many questions, to be honest with you. So no,
How about you?
that
Jake?
was the shake of the head.
Yeah, okay. I had a bunch of it because, people didn't seem to know anything about the Witches of Dathomir, and especially when the whole Mortis thing happened at the end, right? I had to.
Yeah.
I literally locked up that video of Filoni explaining the Mortis triad.
Oh God.
See, normally I'll get Ali watching these things with me, and she'll be asking me the questions. But even in that respects, we've watched all the. We didn't do the cheat button on Disney Plus that says watch anything to do with this series so you can understand it. But what we did do is watch it in previous time, just because there's such a good arc. Like when you get to do the Mortis arc, and when you get to do all of the arcs that are necessary for this. But just it was to me, it was the opposite, to be honest with you. It was people going, oh, this is great. This is awesome. Do you reckon we're going to get to see this? Do you reckon we're going to get to see that? So it was more the other way of that sort of thing, really, for me. But if you want to drift into what I thought about it.
Yeah, please.
I think we should.
I'm just saying I've gone into this with such an open mind because of the current state of the world and people's views. I go into it with such an open mind. Am I going to enjoy it? Great. Will I watch it again? Yeah, that type of thing, right? But I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to be there as minute it drops because honestly, it always fails and that annoys the shit out of me. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it an hour or two and then I'm going to go and watch it because then not the rest of the world's trying to watch it. So I've been really enjoying it. And you mentioned, Neil, very rightly about how everyone tries to compare it to the animation and get really uppity and gatekeep the shit out of that and just say, oh, it doesn't look anything like it. It's nothing like it. Look, you know what? Because it's not, right? We're not watching the animation. We're watching a live action version of it in a totally different time. So I think of it. I think I said this to you guys before. I've kind of topsy-turvy. I'm now putting the live action people in their roles when I'm watching the animation again now, because I still watch the animation. I still go back and watch it. So now I'm picturing the animation characters with the live action characters there. So I've been really enjoying it. And interestingly enough about the I'm not going to get into episode and episode at this point until you break it up, Rob. But the music, again, going by what Anil said, I think a testament to music is if you don't, this is going to sound wrong, but if you don't notice the music because it just works, that means it's working. So 100%. I've watched some of these TV series and the music suddenly just takes me out of it because I'm like, what? But I didn't get that at all with this. The music just complemented it perfectly to the point I didn't notice it, even though I did notice it. That was interesting to me because normally I'm like distracted by something, but I don't think I've been distracted. I've got the things I love. I got Chop there. I got the Ghost there. I've got, the crew getting back together, hopefully and inevitably. We got, the inevitable relationship of Captain Carson Taver and Hera, which we know there's something going on behind the closed doors of the Ghost. He's way too comfortable in that cockpit.
I don't know about that one.
Hey, Rob, someone's got to raise the kid, right? So,
hey, Appa, come on.
You're saying that she's saying what? She is raising the kid, sir.
Now.
I would like to step in and say she is raising the kid.
You know what?
She's doing a damn good job, too.
Steve, you probably talked to Paul the most of all of us. You gotta ask him if he has ever had a chance to ask Dave to put in the line sneak attack somewhere. It would just be gold.
Dude, he had to, he won his chin strap. Let's just say that. He won his battle with the chin straps. But to be fair, none of that gets talked about very much, does it, on air with the people that actually made it, which is very disappointing. So let's hope we get an end to that goddamn strike soon.
Yeah. Jamie, I want to, we'll get into the ending in a second here, but as a whole, the series, what did you think about it?
Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like I think I said this in the previous episode we talked about Ahsoka, but Ahsoka feels like such a love letter to Rebels, which I absolutely love. So yeah, this was so much fun to watch.
But what about it did you enjoy? Like, was it because you got to see your animated heroes now in real life? Because it seemed very different, as Steve was saying. They seemed the same, but they were like Sabine felt different to me. Or
it was its own thing for sure. Like it wasn't just here's your animated Rebels characters in real life. It was more than that, right? Like it was actually like the characters had evolved beyond Rebels. Like clearly some serious things have happened since. And we even got some Clone Wars love and some Hayden Christensen Anakin love. So like huge. That was so much fun to see. It long overdue for sure. I'm happy he was up for it because he killed it. It was all great. Like it was just it was almost to the point of being too much for a Star Wars fan. Like it was just like a kid in a candy store situation.
It really did have it all. Like I think of what you want in a Star Wars, why we love Star Wars. There's some goofiness, there's some kitschiness, there's some amazing set pieces. Like it's just the vehicles, the space battles, the lightsabering.
Dude, my favorite scene is still the scene with Jason and Hera, where Jason is just listening to the water, being like, "Do you hear it? Do you hear the lightsabers?" Like that was the best scene in the series to me. I don't know why. I loved it.
I agree.
There's many.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's just a lot of goosebumpy moments I found. There's lots of goosebumps. It's great. What I watch.
I found this series have a lot slower pace. I think we talked about this on our last show. It was much slower paced, which can be positive, negative. I've actually talked to some people outside who are Star Wars fans and are just casual Star Wars fans. And I hear a lot of people talking about the pacing a little slower than they wanted. Sometimes, as you were saying, Anil, they weren't up to date with what the storyline is. I didn't feel that way because I haven't seen Rebels in so long, and I honestly didn't see the last season of Rebels, so I didn't feel lost, which was kind of positive for me. But I kind of knew what was going on. But I also felt there was times like I wanted a little bit more, but then they gave me more than I expected. Like right behind me in the background, I've got the stormtroopers. I got Enoch and the Thrawn and the stormtroopers, and that I knew the minute that Enoch showed up on the screen, 13,000 nerds like myself were like, how can I make that, and how can I troop in
I
that
think
in
that I
2
think there
weeks?
was a surge in the worldwide power consumption when everyone's 3D printers turned on. Everyone started smashing up their original kits so they can glue them back together and make them gold.
And
I was gonna
then,
say, who amongst you is the first to make?
well, I know Terry for
either
a
an
fact has
Enoch
already
or-
started working on it. Terry Chu has already started working on his, and
Of course
I
he
saw some
has.
other people as well. And it is a beautiful design costume with a lot of sort of real world connections to it. And Jamie, as you've already talked about the Viking connections and such, there's so much symbolism in this whole thing. But also we have it. This series really changed things for me because we dabbled a bit in time travel, which is something that we've never done in Star Wars. We dabbled a little bit in zombies, which we really have done a little bit, but Stormtrooper zombies, we've never done that.
I didn't think they were going to go as hard with the zombie reveal as they did in that last episode. I knew we got a little flash of it, and you can kind of see the way they were almost Home Improvement Wilson over the fence in it, right? You know it's there, but you're not going to show it. But that last shot,
strong sense of it with Marok.
right? But with that Death Trooper.
Oh, with Sabine, yeah. Like I paused on that
with the Death Trooper fight, and you really see the jaw, and it just reminded me of all the cons I've been to when you see the dead troopers going around everywhere, the zombie troopers everywhere. So yeah, I was taken aback that they went that far because it's Disney, right? You didn't expect it. So
yeah.
Anil?
There was that there's that novel, one of the Legends novels now,
There's,
I guess.
Death Troopers and Red Harvest both
That
dealt
sounds-
with horror elements and zombies.
Yeah, that's right. Death Trooper. That's the one
I
was
never
thinking
read
of.
Red Harvest, but I read Death Troopers, and it was awesome.
it's kind of funny because I watched the episode before when we first see not the one where we first get them revealed and we see the night troopers. That was epic and awesome. Loved it. Honestly, myself personally, I'm not blown away with the Enoch mask. I appreciate it, if I can say that, but I'm not blown away with it. It's not one like, oh, I've got to have that. The rest of it though, love it. I love all the different repairs of the stuff, but my mind started going crazy, man. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. They're going to be, because we saw what was the name of the character that was the other Inquisitor that they were fighting?
Oh, the one
Marok?
So when he got taken down and the gas came out, the smoke came out, I was like, oh, are we going to get this with the troopers? And I didn't go out and rant about it because that's not what you do. But inside my head, I was like, oh man, I was hoping to see them get resurrected again and they'd come back to life. That would be so cool. And then boom, I got given it on a platter, right? So I'm hoping that there was people out there that were complaining like shit. Wow, they can't do that. And then they have to eat a massive slice of that humble pie because internally I had to. But yeah, it was. I enjoyed the crap out of that. I enjoyed
Were you expecting to hear Thriller, Steve? When as soon as it start rising up,
right?
You just think they're gonna get into a
I was expecting it. Yeah, do the dance up the stairs. Yeah,
Vincent Price narrating at the end there.
I think if you're allowed to bring up anything, not negative, if anything that wasn't rosy and shiny, I spent probably half my time of trying to figure out what was going on, looking at Ali, going, "Are those the guys that were dead, or are those the guys that aren't dead? Who's running after them?" Because just a minute ago they couldn't even that was the only bit that took me out of it a bit, was when they were running all of a sudden. And which ones are these? But it was kind of clever that it was you knew it was coming because he says, and again, have we gone to the last episode? I apologize, but it's still
we're all over the place.
Super on top of me. So when he's like, do they know what they're getting themselves into? And yep, they all know that it's going to be their sacrifice. I'm like, oh shoot, this is how they're going to do it. I was so excited. And when you see the green mist come out of the sisters, it was just
and the eyes, the green eyes was really cool too.
When they hit all the
witches were dope. I love the from the beginning of Phantom, like when Phantom Menace came out, and I think I got the making of the art of Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And you got Ian McCaig talking about designing Maul, right? And George Lucas saying, just draw a nightmare. And when you get to actually, you got to see Mother Talisman and all that in Clone Wars, and that was awesome. But then to see them, in kind of live action, and they nailed it. Like I thought they were amazing. They're so creepy, and the sound, you know how they had the
The
echoey
voices, the
business, and
creepy
Yeah.
oh
voices.
yeah,
Love
oh
it.
damn, man,
Yeah.
this is like new Star Wars territory. That's one thing I really like is we ventured into so many areas, you know, that we probably a lot of people never thought they would ever see in a Star Wars. So,
But even
So
even with Hu Young, I don't know if you guys mentioned that at all with the droid and how droidy the droid is. Does that make sense?
yes, yeah,
Just how
Bob
droidy, and then
Hossein.
the David Tennant's voice is so hidden with a mixture of
Yeah.
sounds behind it. It's so it's appreciated. You can really soak it all in. It's so
he's a
good.
great character. I just love him. And so, Jamie, I wanted to ask you, being one of our saber twiddlers, the scene where he is rebuilding his lightsaber.
it's terrible.
That was pretty cool, eh?
That was one of those times. I think I've talked about this previously when we're watching anything Star Wars, where Christine will be watching it with me, and for no reason apparently, I'll start losing my shit, and then we have to pause. She pauses it. She's like, "Okay, explain to me why you're losing your shit." And that was when he busts out Kanan's emitter,
Yeah.
and I started losing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that was pretty cool to see.
We didn't talk about this, but I was thinking of you when they were building that. I was like, and James is gonna like this scene. It's the subtlety of the building of the lightsaber and just the connection. And when Tennant's there, just making that connection.
Just Hu Yang, like, really spelling it out, like for the audience and for Ezra. Like, Hu Yang taught Ezra's master how to build a lightsaber. Hell, he probably taught Anakin how to build a lightsaber. And like, just as a fan, Kanan's hilt is like top 3 lightsaber hilts for me, right alongside the Graflix and the Obi-Wan Kenobi skinny neck.
Kanan's is?
Yes.
Oh wow, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, like if I had an excuse to own that saber, I would have it.
You don't need an excuse. I was gonna say, I thought it was cool how Hu Yang very subtly dropped in Kanan's real name in that scene, right?
That's how you would know him, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That was how you would know him. That would have been his name at the time, anyway. So,
yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Steve, we weren't on our last show either, but we were looking forward to seeing Thrawn on the screen now. So I'm assuming you were pretty excited as well. What was his reveal like for you? Did it live up?
That whole scene where we see the reveal of the cruiser come up, that the Star Destroyer, what's the name of it? The
Chimera.
Yes,
dude,
the Chimera.
Like that. You talk about most favorite scenes of the series. That to me is up there. You can't just pick one because there's a few, but that to me, that was amazing. That was amazing watching that come up. I was in Toronto at the time, sitting over someone's house watching it, and it was just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Everyone, you could just feel it in the room. Like, oh, you just don't see that. The last time we saw that was probably New Hope. Something like that, right? It was larger than life because you've already been presented this huge, great castle, whatever you want to call it. And then this thing comes in and the sound of the alarm going off, that always gets me. I love the sound of the battle alarms going off.
Yeah.
And then when you see him walk up, to me though, I think the essence of Thrawn is that pipe organ music that comes over when he's going through his methodical plans and telling that's what does it. To me, it doesn't matter what the character looks like, whether he's an exact replica of the animation, to me, the voice was there and that organ music comes in and it was just like, yeah, I could listen to that all day. That was it for me. So yeah, I think
that's Kevin Kiner, man. That became his theme, like his theme music in Rebels. I'm so happy they carried that.
I was almost slightly disappointed it wasn't louder and more intense. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'd like give me more of that because I'm
right there with you.
That sets it for me. And then when they opened the last episode with that as the what, I don't even know if we call them titles anymore. I don't know what it means. It's skip intro. It used to be the same in Clone Wars. Like what intro? Okay, that was it. I skipped it. But yeah, when they started playing that, I knew we were in for a ride, man. It just got me got me. It puts the chills in me. To answer your question, Rob, yeah, I was happy with what I got for sure.
It was a great intro, and the ship looks beat up just like everything else on that ship. All the people, all the intro of all the stormtroopers just chanting his name like he's a god.
Oh, the chanting was wild.
Yeah.
I want to know more about those troopers though, man. I really do. I need more, because I don't read, right? So I don't read all the novels. So I haven't got a real in-depth background on it. I only know what I've heard and what I've been told and what, I can imagine. So for me, I want more of who are they, and are they survivors? Are they real? Why is the armor all beat up and gold inlaid? Like, there has to be a story behind this, and I'm hoping that we're going to get that. So
it's Thrawn's character. I mean, I loved that they made it clear that he's running on limited resources, both in hardware and troopers.
Yeah, he says
the Empire always has unlimited resources. Like they're the king of unlimited resources and expendable troops. So them highlighting that the Empire and Thrawn is running on limited resources and he's having to be conservative. That was really cool to see, but also like the fact that they're clearly beaten up. They've seen action and they've been repaired, but not just ramshackle battlefield repairs in an artistic fashion because it's Thrawn.
But that also repairs that we've never seen needed to be done before, which is why there has to be.
They turned it into an art form because Thrawn is their leader.
There has to be a reason for it.
Dathomir is all over that too, right? With the ribbons. It's like
absolutely
put them all together just by the.
See, my mind's taken me to some of the comments that have been made during the course of this season. Of one of the comments I remember him saying is maybe they're outrunning something more powerful than them, and Balin says it, right? And it made me wonder if he knows something else that's on this planet. Maybe there's a story on this planet, which is why I was actually so excited to see the end where it was, where it's, to me, the end of this season is the beginning, if that makes sense. There's so much more I think we can learn, even if we stay on that planet for a while, which will be super interesting, even cutting back to what the hell's going on with Thrawn, right? So I'm excited for what is coming, not just for what we've been given.
Anil,
what do you guys think of the sentiment out there that this is their way of distancing themselves from the sequels trilogy and pivoting hard to, they've got this new galaxy that they can explore and basically leave all the sequel stuff behind.
I think there's enough story to keep you going. You don't have to. I don't know. I don't think they're that.
People are so fixated
clever
on the sequels and hating on them. Like, not everything has to be, retconning the sequels or invalidating them or distancing themselves. Like, the sequels are a thing. Get over it.
Yeah.
I think we need to be more concerned with the fact they're trying to eradicate jizz.
I just read that today for some reason. Like, okay, so quick sidebar. Could you explain that again for those who don't know?
Please do.
It has been put out there, and quite strongly here. There's a little campaign here of Save the Jizz.
In LA?
Yeah. I've seen it on a few people's stories and posts here, and followed and reposted the stories. So apparently there is a book out that has got people up in arms because it appears that they have changed the name of, if anyone doesn't know out there, the Cantina band and such who play, and I guess Max Rebo and all those guys who play in the Cantina and all around, the music that they play is known as jizz, and like jazz, but they call it jizz, right? Yeah. Before we all became children and know it for something else. So it's just become synonymous.
Wait, what do we know it for, Steve?
For something else.
Semen, sir.
Go back to your lunchtime. Anyway, so
okay, all right.
I hope it's on your lunch.
Because of that, they've now changed it to JATZ, JATZ, and it's in the book written there as
the past tense of jizz.
So we don't know if it's JATZ was a person who played music, or if it's a different form of music. But it seems as if the Disney overlords are trying to shadow jizz with JATZ, and none of us are having it. We are proud jizz whalers, and we will be whaling the jizz for the longest time coming.
It's the same as a Slave One. It's always going to be the thing. And yeah, for the record, I still regret not getting a Biff costume.
I regret you not getting it. So stop spending your money on Ghostbusters and maybe get yourself a big ball sack to wear on your head.
As Shakespeare said, the jizz by any other name smells just as sweet.
Right.
So
yeah, slight sidetrack, but everyone joined the campaign.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the first I've heard of that. I mean, I was just laughing because I kind of
look into it, Neil, and save the day.
Do a little discovering. So,
and maybe Rob, that will be a campaign T-shirt that we can get done on our T-shirt site.
Save your jizz. Save the jizz.
I can't wear that to school.
Save the jizz. Save the dream.
Yeah.
Save the jizz.
I want one that just says, "I'm a proud jizz whaler," and it just has a picture of the Cantina Band ball sack.
For some reason, TeePublic has just canceled their account.
Yeah.
All right, back to
the real thing.
I'm a Cantina Band groupie, so maybe I'll get a shirt called "I'm a Jizz groupie."
Yeah. Give me all the jizz.
Anil, let's talk about the finale. Let's talk about the finale.
I'm here for the jizz.
I regret this. At first I was all in, and then it dawned on me that I have to edit this whole thing, and I don't
see what happens when all four of us get together. Jeez, this is what you
jizz everywhere, all four of us.
This is
so Neil,
big jizz party.
Maybe we should do the same thing as the Wheelrow Run, but just get all the Cantina Band members and shout, save the jizz, save the music, save the jizz.
Are you guys gonna run around with like
just banging on
hand lotion? Jergens,
except
Jergens.
You know damn well the people in Biff costumes will fucking die if they run anywhere in those costumes.
A bunch of little ball sacks running around.
To us, it would be hilarious, and we're shouting at. But all anyone can hear outside is.
Yeah, the heads will be deflating and inflating as you're breathing heavy in there.
This is perfect because you should see what our next short is, and Jamie knows what's happening for the next short. We had a jizz whaler at a troop, and he had a lot to say. So
awesome!
Yes, we'll stay tuned for the short.
Yeah,
and Neil, back to the finale here.
Hello.
Okay. So a lot of people were liking it. A lot of people were just hungry for a little bit more. A lot of people were disappointed. Just like Star Wars fans. What did you think of the finale?
Well, I mean, lots of questions. It was like I've heard it compared to the end of Empire, right? Like, yeah, you got everybody kind of back together and the chess pieces are in place, and now we wait. And my cousin frantically messaged me. He's like, but what about this and how they didn't answer this and that? I was like, dude, there's a whole season of Mando. There's gonna be a movie. It all ties in. Just calm down. You have to wait.
Well, that's my question for you, though, because when do we find out? Because next episode is Acolytes, which takes place during episode 1 or before episode 1.
No, High Republic era.
Yeah, it's not High Republic. Isn't that thousands of years before?
Like the end of the High Republic.
Well, basically, the studios have got to pull their socks up and get their shit sorted, and then we can get back into writing and filming.
Yeah,
stuff,
the writer's strike is going to create a massive gap in everything.
Well, we still got actors on strike right now, so they've got to finish that up too. So yeah,
but we got the Acolytes coming out, Mando, and that's going. But that Mando doesn't really touch this area a lot, and so I don't expect it to as much.
They were talking about it all tying in like Avengers style, right? Like all these Mando and Ahsoka, and I don't know if Acolytes will have any pieces, but it sounds like what's the Jude Law one being called?
Oh, Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
Skeleton Crew. I think supposedly ties into this. What are we calling it? The Filoni verse? I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
I heard it called the Mandoverse.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever, yeah.
Jizz verse. How about that? I'm just gonna bring it back.
Poetry.
Stop trying to make fetch a things, sir.
Yeah,
I will make jizz happen.
I don't.
Oh, it hurts.
I don't.
That one hurt.
No, it hurts. You gotta see a doctor, sir.
It hurt. But anyway, I think the biggest and like let's just get into it, guys. The biggest
Yeah.
loose end is Balin. And what do we do with Balin? Do you recast? Because obviously
Yes.
he was setting this
Yeah.
whole thing up. The big thing was Mortis. Like he, at the end, he's, standing on. So many people were like, "Oh, they're the Lord of the Rings homage." I'm like, slow down, Padawan. That is
There's
Mortis'
a little
father
bit of
and
that,
son.
but
Oh, someone went
Yeah.
full Patton Oswalt with the crossovers in his filibuster.
But they can still
Oh,
continue
How
on
Lord
this.
of the
They can
Rings
still
connects with Star Wars.
it's still possible to do it. I mean, like you said, it's a massive loss and it's a massive hurdle to overcome with such a great character
Yeah.
being played by such a great actor.
And yeah, played
But
so well.
exactly, 100%. But they can still. You do have his counterpart that can maybe fill
Yeah.
in some of the
That's
blanks.
they'll just have to pivot that story to whatever was going to happen with
But
Balin.
we don't know
I
what the
think,
story is.
sorry, you saying that
But
they should
that's-
not replace him though?
I don't know if they need to replace. I think it would be
We-
very distracting to replace the character with someone else. I mean,
If it
you
works
can do
with
it.
Gandalf, it works with this guy.
It's
honest
possible.
with you.
It's absolutely possible. If the story absolutely entails it, if he has a long trail of story arc to do, then
Yeah.
100%. If
Yeah.
it's a way into opening up a different part of a story, then maybe they don't have to. But it
That
would
was
be
a big
interesting.
gap, though. They left a big, giant what if after this because
Yeah.
the
Heartbreaking, but
the
you
whole
have to
thing
recast.
was leading up to something bigger. You can't
Yeah.
just say, "Well,
What do
tune
you
in
guys
next
think
time," and
about
never have it.
the Arabesh that was on his gauntlet?
Oh, I heard about that. Wasn't there the names of people like Luke and such? Explain that one again, please.
Well, I haven't delved too deeply into it because I'm just not doing that at the moment. But from the things that I've seen, someone's come up and said that they've transcripted what was on there by zooming in, and it was something like Luke, Leia,
Ben, Luke, Chewbacca,
Chewie.
etc.
Yeah. So
What I heard was they just put some random Orabesh on there, and it happened to be that.
yeah,
That's what I heard. But then nothing is ever done. I mean, if
Yeah.
Filoni okayed it, but then things just you can't oversee every little thing. It was like, oh shit, we need some
You
Orabesh.
put
Let's
Orbesh
this
in there.
right?
You can ignore a guy in jeans by accident standing in the back, but
Dave
you can't.
Filoni has said on multiple occasions in interviews that no details go in those shows accidentally.
Well, there you go then.
Nothing is an accident.
yeah. He's definitely on a different arc. He's definitely on a different path. It's just going to be so interesting to see what that path is and where it leads us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the cliffhanger. I love it because it can go any or either way, and we don't have to get all of it in next season. It can all just be still something in the background that could lead into a third season, and that's what I love about it. We definitely have an issue, though. We definitely have Thrawn on his way back to the universe that's current as we know it. So that is going to take some getting over, but I'm hoping it's going to see more action from our resilient X-wing pilots and rebels out there. I want to see more of those battles, man, and I can't wait for that to go on. We know we got a whole ship full of TIE fighters there as well, so it's going to be an epic battle of some sorts when it goes down. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Thrawn probably doesn't even know the state of the world he's going back to, does he? Or does he?
I don't
Because
think he does.
Morgan Elsbeth is now dead. He's left Shin there on the planet along with Balin. No one else is on that ship that came in from the other universe. So does he know that the Emperor is gone? Does he know that the Empire has been defeated? Does he know that Darth Vader is no longer around?
That's a really good question.
So he could be going back saying, all right, boys, the king is back, and no one's there.
Where'd
right?
everybody go?
That's the thing, though, is he is the king now. Like, I can see him easily consolidating all the Imperial remnants under him.
Right. So he needs all these supplies that he's out of, right? He thinks he can go back there and recharge his phone. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to go back and struggle to find ways of doing that.
That was mentioned in Andor, right? They mentioned
recharging his phone.
Yes. 3 mark. But in Andor, when they had all those generals and whatever Moffs, they talk about Thrawn.
Thrawn's return.
So that's obviously
what's our timeline there? Again, timelines are so confusing to me.
So that was
Andor happened before these
that's
construction
before
of the
New
first
Hope.
Death Star. Yeah,
Yeah, that's before New Hope. So I mean, these guys were talking about Thrawn. Yeah,
for
because so
decades.
Rebels also happens after New Hope,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
No.
No,
before
wait.
New Hope.
Yeah,
No. Sorry. Yeah, you're
No,
right.
Rebels happens
So
before Ahsoka.
so Rebels and Andor happen before New Hope. Thrawn goes off. He misses all of that.
Yeah.
He misses first Death Star, second Death Star, Battle of Endor. And then this happens before Battle of Jakku and all that.
yes,
So before First Order.
yeah.
So this is all, yeah. Okay, so there you go. So he's coming back before the First Order arises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is, yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, he unless he builds that, there's a lot more that's going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
And
it
you
would be
can't
so
ignore-
it'd be so interesting to see if he just comes back and he's taken out straight away. But that would be
well, you
funny.
can't ignore the connection between the Emperor's return and the ways that are unnatural to come back to life. There's going to be some connection there eventually that will lead to the First Order and stuff. So I'm very curious to see how that will weave into each other, because you can't have, he's like Napoleon coming back from exile. He's got all his minions, all who think he's a god, he's a living god, and now he's come back and he's probably going to fail just like Napoleon. And because he's in a world that's just kind of maybe passed him by, but he's really, I'm very curious to see how he will.
He's got 3 sisters with him.
Yeah. Well, are they really going to stick with him, or are they just there to get back the bodies that they were all carrying for Dathomir?
But what is in the cargo? We don't know what's in the cargo, do we?
I was understanding those were just bodies and stuff.
Yeah, to be reanimated as an army, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe I just assumed too much on that one.
Like,
I did like
are they
how
Night Sister bodies or are they stormtroopers?
We don't know. That's
That's
the
what we
thing.
find
We
out.
just
Well,
don't know.
the Night
Yeah,
Sisters,
that's
something.
this planet is connected to the Night Sisters very strongly, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
their first stop, and when they got back to the regular galaxy, was Dathomir.
And I think
Yeah.
Morgan saying, when he says for the Empire, and then she says for Dathomir,
Hmm.
right? Very subtly says for Dathomir. So I think she doesn't give a damn about the Empire, obviously,
Well, there isn't one.
Yeah, they don't realize that.
but they don't
And
know
it's-
that.
And I
Yeah.
guess that goes to what you're asking. He keeps saying for the Empire, which does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
So he may
Yeah.
assume that the sucker's still moving. So
I do love that last speech as well that he gives
yeah,
over the intercom. So good. So good. But I mean, talk about feeling a little bit undercooked with the second before last, and then giving you everything just perfectly cooked on the last one, because that reuniting of Ezra with Hera, that one got me, man. That one got me. And I have got the icicle, the biggest icicle for any feelings, like no emotion whatsoever. And we were sitting there watching it, and that interaction between them two is what I expected to happen between Sabine and him, right? But man, I felt the room getting a little bit. I always say that I feel the dampness coming out of the room. I look across and there's those tears in Ali's eyes, and I just feel it myself. I was choking up. I got to admit, I was choking up, and I don't have any emotion. And that reuniting of Hera and Ezra I loved it.
What about
Can
you?
we get some Force Ghost Kanan though? Are we gonna get that?
No.
I think so.
That
I
was
think
I
one
it's
hope
of-
gonna happen.
not. I
one of-
hope
Why
not.
not? Why do you hope
Because-
not?
Why? Because
Why?
everybody
We got the
becomes.
rest of the
Well,
rebels.
let me answer the question. Everybody becomes a Force ghost. It doesn't become special anymore. I'm actually surprised they allowed so many people to become Force ghosts, because it's like it was what's his face Qui-Gon Jinn that discovered the whole idea behind Force ghosts, and also so now he trains Obi-Wan and Yoda, and for some reason Anakin can do it, but I guess because he's the one, so all of a sudden everybody who's dead becomes a Force ghost. No, stop
And
it.
Listen, how many people were talking to Rey at the end of episode 9?
Mhm.
There was
But
a
they're
lot.
at Force ghost, but she
Are
could
they
be
not? If they're talking to her,
but that's where you can Does it have to be a Force ghost, or is she tuning into the Force itself?
You're arguing semantics at this point.
I am, but this is what it is. I'm actually really surprised that we did see Anakin as much as we did in the Force ghost, because
maybe how about this? Maybe we see a Force ghost on screen, but what is actually happening is just that image is for that person and that person alone to see. But maybe we have to see it on screen. Maybe no one else can see it. And, when we watched it in Empire and all the rest of it, Obi-Wan was there. And I can't remember if Yoda was talking to him, wasn't he? So he already, those two have probably been hanging out before anyway. So maybe it's not a Force ghost as you know it. Maybe it's just that premonition is in that person's mind.
Well, that's what I assumed with Ahsoka going into that world beyond worlds. It could have been the Force tree we talked about. It could have been actually Force ghost. That one's different because we're talking about the guy who was the chosen one, Anakin. But Kanan was just Kanan. He's not anything special, to be honest with you. He's the same level as Sakura or whatever those people are, and it's just so I just don't think it's good to have.
But they could always, like we see in the animation, you could again, we're doing that thing where we're just predicting what could happen. But you could have anything happen when they go to a temple. They may find a remnants of a temple somewhere, and it is allowing someone to come back because of something you have, right? Who knows? But I think it'd be cool to have the whole band back together.
Could be anyone.
When are we getting live action Dr. Aphra? Speaking of temples,
I am very curious. We haven't gotten it yet. Yeah. I'm really
surprised. Who's to say we won't? Who's to say we won't?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can we get some of that? Because that opens up all kinds of bananas storylines. I tell you.
I want to ask Jamie a question. Jamie, being the video game nut here, we both played Jedi Fallen Order, and you played the second one, I believe.
You betcha.
It must be really cool to see. We talked about we're surprised not to see Aphra. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Kanan. Not Kanan. Help me out here.
Rob.
Who's Cal Kestis? Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him or more Easter eggs of him. We've seen there's hints of what he's gone through in the games with the Zipho. Is that what it's called?
Zepho is the planet.
Yeah, and we see hints of all that floating around in this whole storyline. Yeah. So what do you think
of that being isolated?
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with Cal having his own story and all of those things going on just being their own isolated story, just part of the video games, and that's it.
But there is connections that I when I'm watching this, I am thinking about you because of the game and stuff.
The only hard connection we've got is that Cal went to the Fortress Inquisitorius, and so did Obi-Wan. That was it.
And the connections to the Dathomir and stuff.
Darth Vader was in it too, but
with the Dathomir and all those other the witches and such, we see that, and we haven't had a connection like that since Clone Wars. And so I was just excited, and maybe down the road, do we see a Cal Kestis or anything like that later?
It'd be cool.
Live action.
The guy's a good actor, and he's active, so it would be cool. I don't think it's I wouldn't be sad if we didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Anil. I was kind of missing the old Freddie Prinze Jr. cameo as Kanan, as a Force ghost or something, or as a flashback. Something.
That would have been neat.
Just to have the band back together once in live action. He's the only one we're missing at this point.
You could just get the voice, Zeb, right? You could just have a voice.
Yeah.
A voice talking to Ezra.
We got Kanan's
a little
voice.
hologram message.
Right? Just give us something, man.
Yeah.
We got Kanan's voice in episode 9.
They've all got to get back together. There's no way Zeb's going to say, I can't possibly leave training all these people to come and see this person that went away.
I was surprised we didn't get Zeb in this show.
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't.
Why is that, Steve?
Because sometimes it's better to have something special than too much of something and it's not very good. And when it comes to Zeb having to be recreated, it's a lot of money, right? So I would rather see one or two of them that are exceptionally good than a half-assed because you've got to do fan service. And again, there's a really thick line between fan service and something that needs to be done, right? Yeah. So what is fan service at the end of the day? Because you're a fan and you want to see it. So it's, to me, I'm battling why everyone's always complaining.
Is Zeb fan service though? He was like his best friend.
Exactly. So at this point, it's not fan service, right?
It's a blurry line.
So, yeah. But I like the introduction to get you excited in Mando. You know?
Yeah.
That was cool.
And again, you know, I think there's going to be.
And he looked good. I thought he
good. Did.
And you don't always. It doesn't have to be full body Zeb either. Zeb could be in an X-wing alongside everyone else that's there to join in with the battle, right? Or maybe it would be sat in a chair in the Ghost again. I mean, I was almost hoping that we'd see Hera fired from her position so that then they could go off and just be rebels again. Just be that alter, you know, those outside people, just like we got the Mando doing stuff. Your connection is there with Carson Tava already, right?
Yeah.
She's already good friends with Carson Tava, so they get to do stuff, right? He's there backing her up in the courtroom. She knows to go to him when there's something that's outside of the the typical procedures. We know that Carson knows Zeb because they've been drinking at Adelphi base, right? So there's already a connection and a buildup of this team that could be together that get in and do some stuff. I really hope that's the case. It's really cool.
Neil?
C-3PO.
That was nice to see, eh? That was cute. That's a bit fan service. That's the example of fan service right there.
That was fan service, but it was nice. I liked it.
That's
all. I just thought we got to mention it. That's all.
The only other thing I felt like we were missing, is a cameo from Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll get that. I don't think we'll get that.
I don't think so either.
It doesn't need to be anything major. She doesn't even need to have lines, but like she was Ahsoka.
Yeah.
For so many years.
That's right.
Like, but she was the voice of Ahsoka, whereas there was a voice for Anakin too. And we didn't get that voice actor back. We got the actual real life.
Yeah, we've gotten him in Star Wars before.
In Mando.
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah. He was the guy that was shot in the prison. Yeah. Remember they were breaking out Clancy in the game?
Yeah. He was the guard?
He was the rebel guard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just think it would be great to have her. Yeah.
Did we get Taylor Gray then?
I mean, why not? But like, I mean, there's all kinds of Rebels people that we could have had cameos, but like the show was called Ahsoka and we didn't get Ashley Eckstein cameo. Like, come on, you can't throw something in there.
Maybe that's just bad blood though. Maybe because I mean, she's not super 100% happy with the fact she wasn't Ahsoka, right? So maybe there's just a thing. You leave that alone at that point.
Not to be like negative, but I don't think she could have pulled off what Rosario Dawson.
No, not at all. I just feel bad that we can't celebrate Rosario Dawson's awesome work at this point. That's the down point right now.
I'm not saying we shouldn't be. Yeah. I just I feel like Ashley Eckstein is. I think she deserves her due, even if
she does.
A cameo.
She's got her clothing line. She's doing good. She's doing fine.
Come on.
I think. No, I hear what you're saying, but I think a way to pay tribute to that original character is what I think. I said it in the very beginning. I was very put out and taken aback. Not put out. That's the wrong word. So I was very taken aback with the persona of Ahsoka that we got in the beginning. It was very cut off, it's very dry, and I appreciate that would be the case because of what's happened. But my hope was that we would see during this arc and this episode or this series that she finds again the people that she needs and trusts to come around her. She finds herself again to know that she can trust herself and it's not her that's causing all these problems. And then we get to see the persona of the Ahsoka we'd known for years in the animation, which is a very more in control rather than knowing better. Do you know what I mean? The attitude of the Ahsoka we know right now is very dry and almost bitchy, almost like a stoned bitchy face type thing. But I understand that it's not. It doesn't strike me as confidence right now. It strikes me as just like, it just. There's a lot of deep breathing. There's a lot of sighing. There's just a lot of. Whereas now we're seeing her build up again. She's got that light back in her. She's got that smirk. She's got that confidence coming back. In the beginning, we didn't get that. But now towards this end, now she's found everyone. Now she's got Sabine back. Now she's got this purpose. And now she's been through the World of Beyond Worlds with Anakin, she instantly changed. We got Ahsoka the White, right? Gandalf the Grey's gone, or Ahsoka the Grey's gone. Ahsoka the White's now back, reborn, and we're seeing that confidence come back in with assertiveness, that she does know that she knows what she's doing and what she's doing right. Because we always had that in the animation. It was the confidence was there, but in an upbeat and I'm right, you know. But whereas now it's just like I'm right.
The animation, she was younger, and I guarantee you, like a lot of us. Maybe I should just speak for myself. My younger self had a lot more spirit and chutzpah. Sorry. Now it's like my older self. I can relate to Ahsoka when she's grumpy, as you know.
But she always seems to
feel that same way sometimes, and
pissed off rather than reassuring. Right? She's now more just pissed off with people rather than.
And she has darn good reason to feel that way.
And I think we've seen that change, and I'm hoping we see that more and more, and it progresses.
Yeah,
we get back to that, because I think a lot of people, that's what a lot of people were moaning about, or just not happy about, is that they didn't get exactly what they got when they watched Rebels or Clone Wars, right? And I can see why, and I think it's a good story arc, and I think it's a good way to base a show that's called Ahsoka. Give that character a story arc. You can't just be the Ahsoka we know and she goes off and does everything. So I think it's a good way to do it.
Neil, what did you think about Ahsoka's character in this whole series?
I love like, you know, basically Steve touched on most of it, but there's an arc. It's not a flat line. There's ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys and all that sort of thing. And, you know, she went through her hero's journey, rebirth in the, you know, voyage through the underworld, if you will, and she's in the world beneath worlds kind of thing. And you know, she comes out and she's got some of her the smirk, if you will, the snippiness, you know.
That's it. That's exactly what it is, the snippiness. Yeah.
The snippiness is back, and you know, just throwing the odd line in there that's just, you know, old Ahsoka. And I think part of it was, especially in the last episode, what I really liked was the dynamic between when all three of them were together with Sabine, Ahsoka, and Ezra. You know, it really brought out, that was the first time I really felt that that is Sabine. Because the way that there was always that banter between Ezra and Sabine whenever they were fighting troopers and running around, and you know, those two always had lots of back and forth, and that was there. That was definitely there, and I think Ahsoka fed off of that. The band was back together, and you got that you know, that whole family dynamic, and like all their characters really came out. I felt like that was the first time when you really saw that, okay, this is exactly what kind of we left, you know, before they all had their kind of dark times, right? I mean, think about the stuff that they've been through, right? I mean, they lose Kanan, Ezra goes off into exile, Sabine loses her planet, and we all know whatever, you know, all the stuff that Ahsoka goes through with Anakin and Vader, and you know, her wherever she goes off to, and until we see her in Mandalorian, right? So everybody was kind of, I think it was kind of that thing where, you know, the chemistry was back, right? You needed all three parts of the equation before you got that. Oh, now we got the spark, right?
I dug it when those three were together, because I gotta be honest with you, Sabine was to me the weakest part of this whole thing. I was really kind of when Sabine was on, I was just kind of waiting for more, and I don't know what it was about it. I wasn't thrilled about her storyline. I wasn't thrilled about, like, she's learning to be a Jedi, okay, and all of a sudden she's a Jedi, and it was a little too quick for me. But at the same time, I know it's overthinking, but I just felt like everything was kind of muted with Sabine. And when we had again, maybe it goes back to what you were saying, Steve, with Ahsoka being snippy and being all spirits, and she's gone through a lot of crap, lost Ezra. You know what? Maybe she is at that point where everything sucks, and she wasn't even going to the celebration in the first episode. But at the same time, it was just like, I wished I had more from Sabine in this series. Maybe we'll get it in the next one. So
I really like the portrayal though. I think the actor is really good though.
It's
I
good,
think
yeah.
I think
oh
it's,
no, this is not a question on the acting.
Yeah.
I think it's a question on the writing of the
the
character.
character, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just seeing a development of who these people are and getting them back.
Because when she
Has
meets
any
Ezra finally for the first time, it was kind of like there was more emotion with Ahsoka, even with as you were saying, Hera. I felt even Hera was the one with the hair was a
Yeah.
slight muted, but I can understand why. It was a nice build up.
Yeah.
But Sabine was like, you just sacrificed everything in this, and you're kind of hey, sup.
It was definitely lackluster, that meetup for sure. But maybe they made up to it in the big iron slug that they were driving around in.
Jamie, we're running out of time here. So I wanted to get your opinions, like any last thoughts about Ahsoka. I know we don't like to jump into what we expect next, but you got anything do you want to finish off with the series?
Nothing major that hasn't already been said. This show felt like Star Wars. It was
Yeah.
awesome. I had a ton of fun. Yeah, it was so much fun seeing everything, seeing Thrawn and all the Rebels characters and everything like that. And yeah, the storyline felt like it was Star Wars.
How about
It's heartbreaking to me that Ray Stevenson died,
Mm.
because I loved his character and clearly they had
Yeah.
big plans for him. But I hope they're able to recast him and keep going, because that was a really interesting story. Easily the most intriguing stuff to me in the whole series.
mm,
How about you, Neil? Any last words?
yeah, kind of what Jimmy was saying. Like, I want to really, they built up so subtly that Balin knew about something huge. And, when you know about the Mortis uh, triad being like force wielding gods, like, holy cow. Excuse me. Yeah, like there's just so much more there that can be explored and expanded on. I was just gonna say one thing we didn't mention. I just loved the big kind of. There's so many great like glamour shots in this series.
Mm.
Like there was in the middle of battle, some of these poses that Ahsoka would finish on. There's and like if you watch the fights, the acting in the fights between like Morgan and Ahsoka, like their faces and stuff and that, and um, just visually so stunning. And like I just felt like I just want to pause it and just look at that, like when the two TIE fighters frame
Yeah.
Thrawn and go, Thrawn's just in the middle of that whole hangar, and the T6 taking out those TIE fighters. There's just so many amazing visuals, like rain hell on them and all those the aerial bombardment, they're dodging this and that, and it was just so visually stunning. Um, you know, it's just so cool that we live in people get caught. I'll just my one quiet little rant, but people get so caught up on it's like, oh, in that scene you can really see the what do you call it?
Wires.
No, the volume. You can see that they're using the volume. Like,
Oh,
yeah, who cares? Just be glad, it's like
It's not a
be
matte
glad.
painting.
it's only a
Yeah,
model.
I mean, yeah, like think about what we came from, and that's I constantly find myself asking, what like the Russell Crowe line from Gladiators, like, are you not entertained? Like, what do you want from things? What do you really want from things? Like, I don't know what people want. I don't.
People don't know what they want. That's the problem.
Yeah, so
That's true.
just shut up. I don't know. I just I stay in the moment. And I just get caught up in the beauty and the wonder of Star Wars. That's why we're all here. And all the nitpicking can just go and do
Before we
whatever you want with it.
before we jump to Steve, I did want to add to that. Like every time Ahsoka got ready for a fight, it was awesome. Whatever pose she had, the one with Balin. I mean, we talked about this the last episode, Jamie. The one with Balin's skull. Balin's like, boom, he's gonna pose, ready to club her, and she's got whatever move, and that one at the end, as just before the zombies become zombies, she's got it like doing her own little cross hilt thing. It's amazing stuff. I love it. So Steve,
posing is an important part of being a Jedi.
Yeah. Twiddling that saber, man.
You got the twiddling and the posing.
No, posing, not twiddling. Posing.
But you twiddle and then pose, right? Not pose then twiddle.
I mean, I just pose.
What
I don't
came
twiddle.
first, the pose or the twiddle?
The twiddle came first.
Dude, I don't want to risk either my saber blade flying out or me hitting myself in the head in public.
That's what makes
I'll
it
stick
fun.
to posing, thanks. Nope.
Makes a great
Posing.
picture.
Wow, she didn't even burn her new cardigan. Pretty good. She did a lot of moves and a lot of twirls and twiddles, and she didn't even put a burn mark on that new cardigan.
That's a true Jedi right there.
Yeah.
Steve,
She's force controlling her cardigan, making sure it doesn't sink.
Last thoughts, Steve, before we wrap up.
I love Chopper.
Yeah, that was a great scene at the end, eh?
I love
like
Chopper.
a pet, like a dog coming back to its owner after a long time.
Anybody get a translation on that one? Because people are able to speak
PG.
Chopper.
PG.
Choppies.
But I agree with Anil. I think some of the shots, there's some classic shots. I mean, what we talked about earlier with the Star Destroyer coming up over the tower. There's another shot when they're at that altar before they start talking about the lightsaber battle in the ocean. Before that scene, there's a shot that just sees all the craft coming over above them, and it's perfectly lined up. It's just such a cinematic shot. There's a couple of those throughout nearly every episode that just linger and stay with you. Really, really enjoyed that.
All right. So thank you, boys, for talking about Ahsoka. And thank you, everybody, for listening out there and tuning in. We really appreciate it. Before we talk about where we can find each other, next week we're going to be talking about Steve's pick for movie night is The Thing. So that's going to be next week, just in time for Halloween, a couple weeks early, but it's going to be a fun conversation. Full disclosure, we've already recorded it, and it was a lot of fun. So Anil, where can we find you?
I'll try to post some more art on Space Hindu 73. I've made a deal with myself that I will actually draw. I did start something, and it's almost finished. So, yeah, I'll have some more art and more photo stuff to eventually get up. Space Hindu 73.
Oh, we got pod racing happening outside too while we're at it. So
It's working.
I thought that was like in the Oscars. Wrap it up, and he'll have the yeah. It's like,
okay. Steve, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Shizback or Muppet Fart.
Are you doing it right now? Are you okay?
That was that noise.
That's what I call pod racing.
And Jamie, where can we find t-shirts like the one I'm wearing today?
Oh, you can find a bunch of new t-shirts on TeePublic under the user Chen X-Wing.
Yeah.
We have some cool shirts out there, and we got cool new ones coming.
Yeah, our Fennec Shan is still the best seller. It's really cool, to the point where I look at other Fennec Shans on TeePublic and they're trying to copy it. So yeah,
copyright that shit.
Yeah, I wish.
Copyright that thing we don't own.
I mean, the Fennec Shan is approved by Ming Na Wen. She did sign it, gave it a thumbs up. Steve's proof of that. So,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She saw it. She loved it. It is. You can find me, the Outer Rim Rookie Show on our YouTube channel, where you might be watching this. And me and Jamie are also doing Gen X-Wing Plays. We're playing a whole bunch of video games every Monday. It is Scott Pilgrim versus the World for another couple weeks. And then Friday is Battlefront. And then eventually me and Jamie are going to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Which one is it again? I can't remember.
Shredder's Revenge.
Brand
Revenge. New one.
Yeah. So I haven't played that. You obviously have. You own it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And a lot more stuff coming up on our YouTube channel. Please give, like, subscribe. We're at 395 now. We're almost at 400. Get us to 400. That'd be awesome. Get us to 500, and Jamie will watch Love Guru. I'm not kidding. Look at that. Neil's excited already. So thanks for watching.
I don't know what I am anymore. I'm just numb.
And that's how Jamie will feel watching the movie. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you next week about The Thing. So see you later. Bye.